In the early 20th century, China was deeply intertwined with its great rivers, especially the Yangtze, Huai, and Yellow. These waterways were the lifeblood of the nation, providing fertile lands and vital transportation. Millions lived and farmed along their banks, their lives intricately linked to the rhythm of the water. The spring of 1931 brought unusually heavy and persistent rainfall across central China. Week after week, torrential downpours saturated the land, turning small streams into raging torrents. This relentless deluge was far beyond what anyone had ever witnessed. As the rains continued, the Yangtze, Huai, and Yellow Rivers began to swell to alarming levels. Their mighty currents now threatened to unleash unimaginable destruction. The water rose steadily, creeping closer to the top of ancient dikes and embankments. In late July and early August, the sheer volume of water proved too much for the aged infrastructure. Dikes began to give way, with small cracks rapidly turning into gaping holes. Water surged through these openings with incredible force, a harbinger of wider devastation. Once the dikes were breached, the rivers unleashed their fury, transforming vast stretches of central China into an inland sea. Homes, fields, and entire villages were quickly submerged under an overwhelming deluge. The landscape became unrecognizable, swallowed by the relentless flood. Millions were caught off guard, with little time to escape. People desperately clung to rooftops, trees, or any floating debris they could find. The struggle for survival became immediate and brutal, with families often separated in the chaos. The initial rush of water claimed countless lives. Many were swept away by the powerful currents, while others drowned in their homes. The sheer force of the floodwaters made escape impossible for millions, resulting in an immediate and devastating toll. Survivors, if they could, began a desperate exodus to higher ground. Hillsides and unflooded mounds became crowded sanctuaries, offering temporary refuge from the water. The journey was perilous, fraught with hunger, exposure, and the ever-present threat of disease. The scale of the disaster quickly overwhelmed local resources, spiraling into an unprecedented humanitarian crisis. Food, clean water, and shelter became desperately scarce for millions of displaced people. The lack of sanitation and medical supplies created a breeding ground for disease. With stagnant water everywhere and sanitation systems destroyed, epidemics soon swept through the devastated regions. Cholera, typhoid, and dysentery spread rapidly, claiming more lives than the initial floodwaters. Disease became another silent killer, adding to the immense death toll. News of the catastrophic floods eventually reached the international community, prompting a global response. Foreign relief organizations and governments began to dispatch aid, albeit slowly and often hampered by the sheer scale of the disaster. While a glimmer of hope, it was a race against time. The nationalist government, already grappling with internal conflicts, struggled to mount an effective response. Its resources were stretched thin, and its ability to coordinate relief efforts was severely limited. The sheer magnitude of the disaster overwhelmed their capabilities, leading to widespread criticism. Beyond the immediate human toll, the floods decimated infrastructure across vast regions of China. Roads, bridges, and communication lines were destroyed, isolating communities and hindering relief efforts. The economic backbone of the affected areas was completely shattered. Even for those who survived the initial onslaught and avoided disease, the long-term health consequences were severe. Malnutrition, chronic illnesses, and psychological trauma became pervasive issues. The experience left deep scars, both physical and mental, on an entire generation. With agricultural land destroyed and transportation disrupted, widespread famine quickly followed the floods. Millions faced starvation as food supplies dwindled and prices skyrocketed. People resorted to desperate measures like eating tree bark and roots. As the global economic depression deepened, international attention on the China floods began to wane. Other crises and geopolitical events overshadowed the ongoing suffering. The affected population, though still in dire need, found themselves increasingly overlooked. The true human cost of the 1931 China floods is difficult to comprehend. Estimates vary, but it is widely believed that millions perished from drowning, starvation, or disease. It stands as one of the deadliest natural disasters in human history. The government's perceived inaction and limited effectiveness led to a significant erosion of public trust. People felt abandoned and betrayed by their leaders, fueling existing grievances. This widespread disillusionment contributed to political instability in the years that followed. Despite the immediate failures, the catastrophic floods eventually served as a grim lesson for future water management in China. The sheer scale of the destruction forced authorities to reconsider their approaches to flood control. This disaster highlighted the urgent need for more robust and coordinated efforts. Amidst the unimaginable suffering, the spirit of resilience among the Chinese people shone through. Communities banded together, sharing what little they had and helping one another survive. Their determination to rebuild, even in the face of such overwhelming odds, was profound. In the years that followed, the slow and arduous process of rebuilding began. Villagers returned to their destroyed homes, attempting to reclaim their land and livelihoods. Gradually, signs of life began to reappear in the scarred landscape. The 1931 China floods stand as a stark historical lesson in the devastating consequences of inadequate flood control and the sheer power of nature. It underscored the critical need for proactive disaster preparedness and robust infrastructure. This tragedy became a solemn reminder of humanity's vulnerability. While human factors played a role, the 1931 floods were fundamentally a result of extreme climatic conditions. Unusually heavy monsoon rains, exacerbated by a series of typhoons, created the perfect storm. It serves as a historical case study in the impact of severe weather events. The sheer scale of the 1931 floods forced the international community to re-evaluate its approach to large-scale disaster response. It laid bare the complexities of coordinating aid and the need for more effective international cooperation. This event shaped future disaster relief efforts. Today, the affected regions have largely recovered, but the memory of the 1931 floods remains. The stories of survival and loss are passed down through generations. The re-engineered dike and improved flood defenses serve as a silent testament to the past. Beneath the restored farmlands and rebuilt villages lie the untold stories of countless lives. Many bodies were never recovered, lost forever to the depths of the floodwaters. The disaster's true toll encompasses immense personal grief and collective trauma. The experience of the 1931 floods redefined what resilience meant for the Chinese people. It was about enduring hardship, collectively rebuilding, and striving to prevent future catastrophes. This profound event solidified a national understanding of shared vulnerability and collective action. Even today, China continues to face the ongoing challenge of water management. The lessons of 1931 serve as a constant reminder of the vigilance required to live in harmony with powerful rivers. Climate change now adds another layer of complexity to this ongoing struggle. The 1931 China floods serve as a global warning about the catastrophic potential of extreme weather events and the importance of preparedness. It highlights the interconnectedness of human societies and natural systems. The world must heed this historical warning. The story of the 1931 China floods must never be forgotten. It is a powerful testament to human vulnerability, resilience, and the critical importance of foresight. By remembering such tragedies, humanity can learn and strive to build a safer future.